What's up, Evgeny Genchev here, and this is Swiss Struggle. Today I'll be reacting to some piano recordings that have played a huge role in my early piano days. These are definitely not ordered by importance and just a few pieces out of a huge list of epic recordings, but I guess we do need to start from somewhere. First one to start with is a recording of Liszt performed by Gyorgy Cziffra. There was a period during my teenage years in which I used to wake up with this recording as well as a few others by him, and that was my morning portion of motivation. Let's hear it. He's the fastest recording out there. How he plays the octaves with fourth finger in this position, it's ridiculous, and he has a large enough hand to be comfortable playing this. Obviously he's missing at the start quite a few notes, but then eventually he plays all of them and he doesn't really drop the tempo. Also, his articulation is super crisp and it gives that effect that I call the Ferrari effect. I actually discussed this with few people who listened to him live when he was still alive, and they said that it was incredible how little pedal he used, but in order for you to be able to do this, then you need to have super reliable fingers, and you need to practice a lot like this. I preach all the time that one should practice without pedals so that we hear what precisely the hands are doing, the fingers are doing, and we are in full command and awareness of it. But Cziffra is taking this to a whole new dimension. Let's hear some more. It's still as ridiculous as it was like 10 years ago. And that left hand jumping all over the place. Super crisp. And of course, why not go an octave lower than it was? Yeah, sure, of course. His octaves are ridiculous, by the way. You should hear also the Sixth Rhapsody. Accelerando, because why not? Starting slow, I love this. Amazing. So yeah, that was acting as my morning coffee and was doing the job for a very long time. Even now, I still feel like, okay, I need to get practicing after hearing this. It's amazing. Now, this next recording is something that you most probably have already heard, you have seen, but I just had to put it in here as well. This will be Sviatoslav Richter's performance of Chopin Etude Opus 10 number 4. Yeah, you should have seen this coming. Whenever I would start, feeling myself and think that I'm quite alright at the piano, as any teenager does sometimes, then I would listen to this recording to ground myself. And it worked like a charm. Let me do this. Pow! Love this. That's what I mean. Good luck doing this. The disturbing part in this is like you think, okay, well, because his hands are so big, then at these arpeggios, even already on the first line, you think, oh, well, that's why it's so easy for him, because he doesn't need to move his hand much. He doesn't need these extra movements in order to accommodate these passages. But then you think, well, his hands are so big, how does he manage with all the passages that your fingers are supposed to be like this? He's still like a butterfly on them, like a bumblebee. And then it really strikes you, well, this is another level which is yet to be attained. Let's hear the rest. No pedal in these passages. It's still musical, it still serves the music within this. Amazing. It's ridiculous. It really is. I mean, even if it's sped up, even it's a marginal difference. I mean, to try to even play at 75% of this, 80%, it's already an achievement. Seriously. I mean, at some places, especially the last passage, he basically plays it as if it's all a trill. This is not natural, and he plays the entire etude almost with this kind of clarity and this kind of speed, which also to consider that his hand is large. It's like a bare hand, but plays like a butterfly. This is somewhere in the stratosphere as a pianistic virtuosity level, but also within that accommodating the musicality and actually not making it just sound as an exercise. Not at all. It's actual has a musical line, and it has the expression, and it has the contrast, and yeah, it's amazing. The video starts with him speaking how he says, well, this I played as an encore and it was not too bad. And this is something that he says very rarely. I mean, we listen to most of his recordings and we think that they're incredible, and yet when you read his diaries, he was mostly unsatisfied with the majority of his performances or recordings. So it's about actually elevating your level to such a place where it's just everything that he plays is to us godlike level. So through work and pushing himself further and pursuing that horizon, everything to us mortals is perceived as something that is incredible and flawless. And he's just not quite impressed with his playing, which it's a perfectionist profession, of course, but it's about the competency and it's about the level that we strive for. It just never gets old. Now, I don't want you to think that one can only draw inspiration from virtuoso performances. Obviously, that's an element that every good pianist has to have in their arsenal to a certain degree, but this is not at all the full picture. So the next performance is of a lyrical piece, and if you watch it closely, you can learn a lot from it. This is Vladimir Horowitz playing Schubert Impromptu in G flat. He starts a bit slower than usual. That golden sound. Now, let me stop it here. There are many aspects of the playing of Vladimir Horowitz that are really unique and special, but to me, there is one thing that really stands out and makes him really who he is. To me, the word that defines this is courage. And let me explain what I mean. We all know that there is a necessity to separate the melody line, the accompaniment, and the bass, the harmony from each other. They need to be on different levels. And we all try to do it, and we are successful to different degrees. But unfortunately, more often than not, we get caught up in this kind of microscopic differences just to make sure that, you know, things are well balanced and not really too obvious. Now, the problem with this is that the differences between the different layers of music, the different layers of texture, becomes only evident in our minds. It's not actually audible. Even if it's audible, it's only going to be audible maybe for the first few rows of an auditorium. The audience cannot follow. You cannot really guide them through what you're trying to say. And fundamentally, any performance is defined by this. You need to lead the audience with yourself and tell the story that you want to tell, or the composer wanted to tell, but through your lens. If everything is very minimal, it's all gonna be just on the surface. It's gonna be two-dimensional, and people are gonna be lost. They're not gonna be sure what to follow, so they would be confused. Then they will space out because it becomes uninteresting. Now, of course, that's not always the case, but unfortunately, more often than not, people in pursuing the ultimate control, lose that boundary of where is too much, and you go into the quantum realm of just microscopic differences that don't make any significance to the audience member or the listener at home or wherever they are. Coming back to Horowitz, he is embracing this, he is fully comfortable, and he has the experience of projecting to the last row, and he just leads you with the melody, and then in another dimension on its own is this accompaniment, and then there is the bass, and when he wants to show you the bass and that line, he navigates you to there, and then when he wants to also show you again the middle voice or the top voice, he shows you that without you for a moment hesitating, like, what is he trying to show me? Where is he trying to lead me? It's always crystal clear, but that's also because he has the courage to really project his ideas. Let me show you what I mean, and then we can continue forward with the recording. There was the left hand, and then he took over again with the right hand. Completely different color. Because he went all loud, now he can make the contrast and really pull you in, and it's magic. And have you heard any of the middle voice? It's just happening. It's there. It's in own dimension. It's amazing control and clarity of where he wants to point your attention at. And somehow he created so much tension and such musical drama and suspense that he could almost stop and stretch it to the max, wait, and then go back to the initial theme and starting it just a little bit slower than the first time, so that it also has gone through the journey and now it's slightly different and different color, different tempo, and different approach to it, which again, it's at the beginning it was much clearer, now it's all muffled. Let's just move on. Always the leading of the melody. Because he can. One of the few times he showed the middle voice because he wanted to make it more dynamic and he didn't want to push the others too far. Of course. Amazing. And there's so many other little things that you can find out, where he spreads the chord, where he takes the left hand first and then the top, or vice versa. He first presses the top melody and then gives you the bass, and all these kind of little tricks that are there that help the expressivity of the melody, help that leading, help you navigate the audience towards a different element that you want to show them, to guide them with the storyline, and the control and how he approaches the key in order to extract the particular sound. Not just because his piano is very particularly done, but the extracting beautiful sound on any piano takes a particular touch, particular finger that is being used, particular place of the finger that is being used. And if you watch closely, you can learn a lot from this. And this is fascinating, and it can be watched and rewatched, and it never gets old. Alright, I hope you had fun watching the videos with me and you found it useful. Hopefully this can also help to motivate you and give you some extra insight which perhaps you can incorporate into your own process. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button if you haven't already, and click that bell icon so that you never miss an upload. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.